Well, hi everyone, it's Friday night and I'm down here in the prayer garden overlooking the paddock at the end of a day and a long week. And we continue looking in these parables at the role of slaves and slavery. And we looked at this a bit yesterday when we looked at Mark chapter 13 and the way we're, as servants of Jesus, willing to be watchful, looking for who he is and what he's doing in the world each and every day, not just living for ourselves, but actually looking for who he's calling us to be. Well, today Jesus continues that in Luke's gospel, but then gives it a complete twist and turns it all upside down. So I want to just read to you this very short parable from Luke chapter 12. It says, "Make sure you are dressed and ready with your lamps alight. You need to be like people waiting for their master when he comes back from the wedding feast, so that when he comes and knocks, they will be able to open the door for him at once." So it's very much like yesterday when we looked at what it means to be a servant of Jesus. But then he goes on to say this: "A blessing on those servants whom the master finds awake when he comes. I'm telling you the truth, he will put on an apron and sit them down, and then come and wait upon them. A blessing on them if he comes in the second watch of the night, or even the third, and finds them watching and waiting." Well, the second or third watch of the night is really 12 at midnight or 3 in the morning. So what in the world is the meal that will last that long? Well, in the Jewish tradition, it's Passover. It's a very elaborate meal. There's lots of different aspects to it. There's lots of different symbolic items within it. And those of you who've even done a simple Passover with us, say at Easter on Maundy Thursday, will know that it can go on for quite a long time before you get to anything substantial in terms of something to eat. Jesus, on the night before he died, came to that same Passover meal with his friends. He did put an apron around his waist, and he knelt down and he washed the disciples' feet, beginning with Peter. He then took bread and he broke it and gave it to those disciples and said, "Take, eat, this is my body, which I give for you." He then took a cup of wine and poured it out, and he said, "This is my blood, which is shed for you, so that you may know the forgiveness of sins and also bring healing to the world." These wonderful gifts are totally upside down. We can so easily take them for granted. But actually, in Jesus' day, it would have been unheard of for a servant or a slave to be waited upon by the master. And yet this is exactly what Jesus did. It would be, if you like, with the Euros going on at the moment, the most famous celebrity footballer you can imagine, and thinking, well, the right order of things is they're the celebrity, we're the spectator, we're the person in the terraces, coming and doing exactly the same thing, kneeling at your feet and being willing to wash them, and indeed to wait upon you and serve you. Even today then, this wonderful gift of communion is so powerful. For many people, they say it's the moment they sort of glimpse more than at any other time during worship, how earth and heaven come together. It is upside down, and yet it seems also so beautiful that it can be maybe the right way up, because it's an act of love. Francis of Assisi, when he used to talk about communion, he used to have tears in his eyes, because he just wondered and marvelled that the King of all creation, the one who created all this, not just this paddock and this prayer garden, but the whole universe, would actually be willing to kneel at his feet, to wash his feet, to break bread for him and appear to him in so humble a thing as a piece of bread. Often it is how we see it. We can go through our day, through our life, charging through every day, but hopefully there are those moments of wonder where we do glimpse this radical, wonderful, beautiful gift of who Jesus is. And when we do, it can, maybe like Francis, bring us to wonder and indeed even to tears. Sometimes I watch as people receive communion, they hold this bread wafer in their hands as if they were holding the crown jewels or beyond the crown jewels itself. Children do this. I still remember most beautifully a communion at Banwell Church where this little boy said, "I really loves this, I does," holding this paper disc in his hand. And it made us all remember that we were once children. Not just in the past, but maybe we're called to be children again, as children of God. These are beautiful things, and Jesus spoke about them in these parables. So I hope you enjoy. Have a good weekend, and thanks for taking part and listening. God bless. Bye.